G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Vargo 52, otherwise known as a Vahan. This is an Armenian Soviet rifle that was first developed around 1952, that number gives it away, and it was never really used in service because, you know, the AK-47 existed, and this particularly interesting piece of hardware, that was never going to replace the legendary AK, so good try, you had a good run, but you were never going to be used for anything. So right now this is chambered in 5.56, you can put the 7.62s from Nuka World in there, so there's a requirement right there, if you're wondering. You've probably seen that on screen already. But you've also got custom sounds and animations for this thing, which is good because, you know, it's always nice to see some polish with the animations and sound work of the weapons, because it looks like this thing in general is very polished. The speculars here are off the charts. It's like seeing a mirror image, a big reflection. So this thing can only be used in automatic fashion, so we're going to go ahead and chuck on a powerful auto receiver on this. Gives us 135 damage when previously it was 69 giggity damage, so a worthy upgrade. And right now we've got a factory barrel. We can put an integrated suppressor on with that, which will increase our range because of the barrel length, and also our damage because of Ace Operator, or you could have one with a laser if you want. And curiously enough, that appears to add a couple of Picatinny rails there, and I wonder if we could utilize those. Right now we've got a factory grip with no stock. You could have an AK grip, or a factory stock and a grip that is also factory, or an AK grip with those, SMG stock and a factory grip, or an SMG stock and an AK grip. I'm thinking that the factory stock looks a little bit more sturdy than the SMG stock, except for the weight. I think it's a worthy upgrade. I'm not super worried about weight, but the accuracy bonus here I think is quite nice, and I do believe that that factory grip just looks slightly more comfortable than the AK grip. Notice how there's some AK parts in here, like the grip and the magazine obviously looks like AK-74, the lower caliber chambered AK magazines. Interesting. Right now, I've got the factory one. We can change that to a 7.62, which makes it look like there's just shoved an AK-47 magazine in there. That'll increase our damage and maybe increase our recoil. Possibly. It's not saying it's going to increase our recoil, but it should. You can also chuck a big old drum on this, which appears to be from the handmade rifle, just straight from the Nuka World assets there. It looks pretty good on it, so if you want something with a whole lot of bullets, then chuck that on. We're going to be utilizing a 7.62 round for a different version of the Vargo, but we'll keep going. Right now, we've got iron sights. You can chuck on Niders, Seymours, Cobras, Spectres, and a medium scope. You can't get a short scope, it's only a medium, which I suppose this is supposed to be a PSO scope. And look at this scope mount here. It looks really flimsy, like one solid knock to this weapon and that thing's out of line and you won't be able to use it. You'll be back to your iron sights quicker than you can say Suka Bliat. But we're going to go for a Cobra sight here because I like them. And there's a legendary effect if you want it. We will not be using it. And a foregrip there. You can have a wooden one or a polymer one. Polymer one looks kind of cool, I guess. For some reason, that makes you lose accuracy. Does it? Yes. That's weird. And that's it. That's the customization. Let's shoot things. Easiest way to get the Vargo 52 into your game is just go to a chemistry workbench, find Vargo 52 subfolder, and for adhesive, gears, oil, screw, springs, and steel, you can make this thing with 0 perk requirements. Pretty easy early game assault rifle there if you're diligent about looting. Okay, welcome to Call of Duty Warzone target practice. I think this weapon's in Call of Duty Warzone under the same name. But this is what it looks like in first person. You aim down sights, it's got the Cobra sight, which appears to be just a solid triangle rather than just a chevron, so interesting choice there. I think is fine though, I can still aim through that pretty easily. Taking a quick look at this in third person, you'll note that you'll use the foregrip both in first and third person, which is nice, and the reflex sight honestly doesn't look too out of place, even though I know that's from a handmade rifle, which the textures, the quality on the drum magazine doesn't quite match the rest of it, but I think it still fits in pretty well. Here's the one with a scope that I made, and it's the worst thing ever, because this thing has a lot of recoil to begin with, but when you're aiming down a scope and shooting this thing full auto style, you get the recoil multiplied by the factor of your scope magnification. So this is going to make it a pretty hard thing to snipe with, and it's not a very complicated weapon, the Vargo 52. See, in Soviet Russia, we make our weapons with the same stamps as we stamp our pencils with. If you want select fire, you got to use finger, and that's exactly what we're going to have to do with this thing, because if we want to have any semblance of accuracy using a scope and range gameplay, we're just going to have to tap the trigger, and even then, like, the amount of time we have to wait between shots to get this directly okay and into a spot where it's actually going to be hitting remotely where the middle of the reticule is, it's going to cut down our DPS quite a lot. Speaking of DPS, this one is something less inspired. No stock, no suppressor, foregrips there, and it's got the reflex sight that doesn't have that weird scope mount. And have a listen to this thing when it's unsuppressed. Tell me that doesn't sound like an M416 from Battlefield 4, which is a German-made weapon, therefore Western, right? I feel like that kind of sound on an Eastern weapon, that doesn't make sense. Unless it was developed on the other side of Berlin. Who knows? Anyways, here's the fourth one that I made. A reflex sight has been removed just for the standard iron sights. I don't use iron sights on a lot of guns, so I thought today I'd shake things up. It's also got the integral suppressor, 7.62 rounds loaded, and it's got the hardened auto piercing receiver, so we might be able to utilize this to get that slight little bit of armor penetration in case of low damage from the powerful autos that I usually chuck on. So yeah, instead of going for high damage receiver the best, which is usually the best option, instead we've gone for a little bit more versatility. Did I mention this one also had the rapid auto receiver? So it's going to be firing a little bit faster than what you'd usually find. Anyway, so the game plan here is to snipe. And what we are going to be doing is sniping from here. We'll take out the guy with the broom first because he's got the most dangerous weapon on him. And we might have to slow down our shots pretty quickly. Ooh, that's an MG42. Okay, never mind. Here's what we're going to do instead. We're just going to rely on VATS again. Eat some criticals. Yes, there we go. 4.4 times multiplier. Ah, sweet. Okay, hopefully that was the one shooting explosive bullets because the aim punch is not good. Also, what we're going to do now is switch over to something more quick because honestly, slowing down and having the time between the shots is going to slow down our DPS significantly. So if we can remain in caution here, we can kill the gunners and not have to worry about being detected, and we can keep these sweet, sexy 4.4 times multipliers. I gotta tell you, this might be the sniping spot from now on because they still can't see me. Look at these bright clothes I'm wearing. And bright hair, that ought to give you away. But we actually got away with a lot of stealth kills there, which is going to give us a nice little leg up for the start. There's a mantis, that's fine. And I'm attracting a lot of attention now. You can tell, as soon as the sneak attack criticals drop, this thing, we're struggling in more ways than one because I'm currently fighting this thing. I am wrestling with this thing to keep the muzzle down and to keep the bullets on track here. Even at point blank range, I think even hip firing this thing as I throw a new magazine in because I saw I only got 12 bullets left. This thing wants to block my view when I'm hip firing this thing. It's obnoxious. It's insane. Now, normally this might be a subjective opinion right here, but I don't mind a weapon having a little bit of recoil, but it's a little bit jarring going from a nice little puppy-held sort of COD port weapon where there's basically zero recoil to speak of to this giant mule whose testicles are on a roasting barbecue and it's kicking like a... well, you'd understand it. So, it's a little bit jarring and you're having to fight more battles at once than just the gunners. I'm fighting the weapon itself. You know, whether it's realistic or not, it might be up to personal preference, but just a little bit too much. Just a bit. It doesn't need to be like this. I don't think I need to be mastering recoil patterns in order to use a gun in Fallout 4. I just want to pick it up, say, hey, this is cool, it's fine. So what I've actually found is that if you want to like, not make the recoil as bad, just use it in third person. And now you don't have to deal with the visual recoil of the gun rattling around. You can sort of more focused in on your targets. Although that's maybe because, like, I've been playing Fortnite and using third person there is, I've just gotten used to doing that. Oof, that is some really bad range penalties right there. Let's switch over to something a little bit more loud for the moment. We have to go right up close to utilize this. We didn't end up killing her. We went for the all or nothing charge. Okay, so don't use the rapid auto receiver as it turns out. It's not doing me a lot of good right now. Maybe we could use it in VATS though. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I don't even think we're gonna get a single kill here. Let's go for a critical though. I'm just gonna spam this critical button, spacebar on PC. So keep those crits coming because we're going to need them. This might end up a kill. No, I don't even think. Never mind. Oh my goodness. Okay. We're just gonna put this rapid auto receiver version in the bin and never look at it again. It's no good to me. It's better in the form of scrap parts to use to modify my vanilla game assault rifle, and we all know what everyone thinks about those things. Alright, let's not go around to where all those angry gunners are. In fact, let's just try to isolate some targets that are on their own. Maybe it's just like a I'm not gonna say like a muscle memory thing, but just aiming in third person, it just seems is a little bit better. It's just a little bit easier. Just might be because of what games I play on the weekends now, but yeah, not having to deal with the visual recoil of the gun jumping up and down, I feel like is a nice little change. And whoops, let's not forget eyes on the prize when I go up here. Actually, the combat music is stopped, which is interesting. That guy's close enough. We'll take him. There we go. And we might be able to get ourselves a good vantage point up here to take out the rest of these chumps. Oh yeah, that's good. I really hope that wasn't a flashbang. It was not. That's fine. My god. Okay, well, maybe I just... What is it, the grenade spam? We are really playing Battlefield 4 now, and that is... I think someone's shooting with a shotgun or something. No, that's an MG42 going off. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, prepare to die in VATS. 1 for you, 2 for you, a couple for you. Really unfortunate whiff there, I think. I think that was like a high 80s or 90% whiffer there. That's XCOM, baby. Speaking of XCOM, Carla's usually the start. Like, whenever I get Carla in XCOM, she does really well. She always gets, like, in one of the top ranges. Either early or later on. Useful. Alright, so we're on the home stretch here. There's only but a few gunners left. We've actually got Nerd Rage ready to go. I won't utilize it because for some reason I gotta pause the game for it to remember that I'm actually supposed to be in Nerd Rage. So I want to utilize it in there, which I'm not gonna get that other one, so yeah, I know. Really pissed off at the moment, but yo, when you door breach a thing in Call of Duty and everything goes slow motion, you kill like 10 guys in that room. Alright, we're gonna have to switch over here because I missed a lot of those shots. We got a lever gun on you. And instigating, wow, what a drop. That's actually a really good drop. Yes, that's a standard Call of Duty campaign moment. You kick open the door, everything goes in slow motion, and then you shoot the bad guys. I'm gonna VATS you from all the way back here, and you're gonna love it. Hopefully... Oh, never mind. Okay, we've got 1 crit in the bag. Probably from Grim Reaper's sprint, but... Alright, we did it. And I won't lie to you, this took multiple takes. Multiple takes were taken because I struggled quite a lot with the recoil of this thing and went just a little bit too aggressive with it, ended up dying a few times. So it's been a little bit frustrating, but we've made it there in the end. You can't really count on this thing for DPS all the time. I think just the recoil on it, probably the only thing that I can say is just a little bit too much, but, you know, if that's the modder's vision, to have a little bit more kick to it, make it somewhat difficult to use to its own detriment of fun, then that's fine. That's okay. But just, I'd like to add some sort of recoil compensating scope on that. I think that would be a good addition somewhere. Alright, so, time to kill the mighty swan, and, oops, gotta reload here. I remember I just switched away from this one. Oh, good, we've been spotted. Now, does that mean he's pissed off as well? No. That took far too long. That was not how it was meant to go down at all. But we're gonna stand here and then lean. Never mind, he's attacking something else. Never mind, I think he's won. I think this is the perfect time to utilize the scoped version here. Oh, let me just put my mouse on the very top of the trackpad here so I can pull the thing down at the speed of light to compensate for this recoil. Alright, never mind. It didn't take us long to get detected there, now did it? And that was a big old miss from you, wasn't it, big fella? Okay, this is not the weapon to use. I'm going to switch over to the drum magazine. Okay, that's not cool. You just hit me through a wall, buddy. That's not allowed. Reporting you. Like the Vault-Tec reporter guy. He's like, I am reporting this! That's what I meant to say. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Now, normally I sort of keep around these train carts here. Whoops, I think I just went into swimming mode just then. The water was a little bit too deep. But today, I'm going to drag the swan down here, and we'll see what kind of trouble springs up here. Because I think from this grand fort here, he can only throw rocks at me, which maybe if I duck just below this staircase, those rocks won't be able to get through. That one just disintegrated. And that one hit that tree. I was actually aiming to do that, by the way. The scope of my genius, he can't comprehend it. Right, what other weapons do I have in my arsenal? This one, don't think it's worth it. Ah, that's interesting. Well, I guess we are using 7.62s here, so yeah, that's definitely good for DPS right there. I suppose if you were looking to do something like full performance, you'd throw the 7.62 round magazine in, and then reflex sight, suppressor, either one, and one of the versions of the stocks that has just the rifle stock, not the SMG one. Alright, maybe we can grind some criticals back here. Look that we're going to use them, but they're nice to have, right? Just in case that random death claw shows up. To get a nice critical shot of him. Yeah, his rocks are very feeble compared to his giant hammer strike. So, actually, we've got a perfect bit of cover right here. I'm basically untouchable for Mr. Swan here. This is like the cheat place. This is like that place where you stand in that Terramorphous fight, where he throws the rocks and they just hit the wall. Borderlands 2 players know what I mean. Alrighto, so that was it, and there apparently was a thing. Brave of you. Now the fight's over, you want to come out and fight. Okay, so that there was a Vargo 52. Kicks like a mule, but it'll do the job should you have enough bullets to feed it. Oh, okay, these guys are technically death claws. Cowardly death claws, but it is what it is. And if you like this thing in other games, then download it. It's a very high quality weapon mod, but just do be warned that it will want to fight you as well. It's just got that angry temperament about it, which to an extent I like, but honestly, just it'd be better if it was toned down a little bit, in my opinion. But maybe it's better how it is. Who knows? So that there was Vargo 52. If you want it, links in the description. Thanks for watching. Also, Carla's in a companion mod with 2 others. You can download her and she'll fight things for you. She's got the pack voice. Thank you very much for watching, guys.